You know, if my girlfriend sees you in here, she's going to be really mad that you're here. No. She's going to walk in. She's going to be like, who is that? I'm just kidding. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. If you don't already know, my name is Austen. I'm active in the Navy, and I just vlog my life. So this is going to be more of an informational video because I have lots of people on Instagram, lots of people on Facebook messaging me. They're like, hey, should I go to the reserves or should I go to active? So I kind of want to help you out a little bit. We're going to do an informational video about active duty versus the reserves. If you can, drop a like, really helps the video. I have my friend Michelle here with me. Are you glad to be here? Be honest.
Very happy.
I had to beg you to be here. I was like, please, let's do this video. She was the only reservist that I know around here. So, yeah, okay. And don't forget that $100 I slipped you under the table. So the reason you click on this video is because you may be considering going active duty or going to reserves. And we're here to talk to you about the benefits of each. She was on the ship with me back in 2017 on the Western Pacific deployment. Good memories. So I'm gonna let you introduce yourself.
Hello, I'm Michelle Diaz. I did 6 years active duty in the military, and I just transitioned into the reserves. I'm originally from Santa Ana, California, Anaheim-ish area.
That's where we're at now, by the way.
Yeah, interesting enough. So I was stationed in Washington for 5.5 years, and then I moved to Pensacola, Florida, and that's where I started the reserves. And I just moved back now to Anaheim, California.
Okay, so that's something about the Navy because what's your rate again?
AD.
So she's an AD, and she was in Washington for 5.5 years. So I'm an MA. I've been in for 6 years. I've been to 3 different commands already. So you really choose your fate when you choose your rate, because if you love traveling, you know, you may want to choose a rate that travels more often. You know what I'm saying? Now, some MAs, they get stuck in one place a long time, but that's completely off topic. We're going to talk about active versus reserve. Now, the reason I wanted to go active is because I wanted the full-time pay, I wanted the full-time job, and I wanted the full-time benefits. So that's the one thing we're going to talk about right now. The first thing is benefits. So can you kind of compare, since you've been in reserves and active duty, can you compare the benefits as far as medical?
Oh, that's a good one. So active duty, you, at all times, if you need to go to medical, you just go. You know, everybody makes fun of the active duty medical side, but honestly, once you go reserves, you appreciate the 100%, like they'll take care of you no matter what. Reserve side, it's a little more difficult. You do have your main provider, which is obviously a civilian one because you're reserves now, but if you ever have to go to a base or anything, they will not take you unless you're on orders. And it's very difficult to line up your appointments that you need on base and get orders at the same time.
Okay. So this is your microphone, so I'm not used to completely passing it. So when let's say you're sick and you have to go to sick call. In active duty, you would just go to sick call and they'll write you up and send you to the doctor like as soon as possible. But with the reserves, you have to make an appointment. Are you paying out of pocket, or are you paying for TRICARE?
So currently I'm on TRICARE Select, and it is a partial payment. I did end up going to the emergency room, and I still got billed $230. So that was not fun. But yeah, it is partial pay and then copay whenever you go to any regular appointment. You can set up different types of plans, but that's the one I chose, TRICARE Select.
So how would you compare TRICARE Select being in the reserves and the payment? And did they give you any kind of special discount or anything like that? Or does it compare to like civilian, like Blue Cross Blue Shield or any independent civilian healthcare?
So I joined when I was 17, so I never had to pay for insurance before. But compared to regular healthcare, I guess it is a lot more. Is that what I'm trying to? Yeah, it's cost efficient, I guess I would say. Okay. I only pay. I'm in a round, but about $40 something a month. To enroll, it's like about $85 and then just $40 a month. So that's honestly not bad. And then that's not including dental. So yeah, that's the thing.
So, okay. So that is pretty good. I mean, so you do get a little benefit for being in reserves, being a part of the military still. How much do you pay for dental? I mean, do you know?
Sorry, was like $20, but I didn't click on it just yet. I'm about to enroll in it. So.
Okay. So did you have something else to say?
No, I was
Okay. All right. So we have medical covered now. By the way, if you have any questions, be sure to drop in the comment box below, and I will also leak her Instagram. Is that okay?
Yep.
Okay. So you can feel free to ask Michelle any questions that you would like. So let's move on to what you actually do. When you're in the reserves, what do you do? I mean, do you go once a month? Do you go once a week? Once a day? How does it work?
So you minimum have to go 2 days out of the month, or 2 days out of the month, and then 2 weeks out of the year. You can request to do more drill dates, but that is the bare minimum that you do. You get paid for 4 days, but you only go for 2. And basically, you try to cover all the training that you would normally do on active duty. So you kind of cram that all in. If you're actually in a FTS unit, which is very common, we work with FTS sailors, which is full-time support. You basically do your regular job like if you would be active duty. If you're located at an OSC, so that side of things, it is more just paperwork and PowerPoints and training, and not as exciting as active duty. But other than that, since I'm an AD, I get to work on airplanes just as if I would active duty.
So when you go to drill as a reservist, they're like, hey, fix this plane? I mean, they could do that? Or is it more like just busy work?
So right now, I'm currently not qualified in the C-130s because I used to be F-18s, but they are going to send me to C school. And then once I'm qualified, I just have to keep my quals up to date, and I'll be able to work on the aircraft as well.
Okay.
They always have FTS sailors. When the reserves go in for the weekend, they have FTS sailors. So it's a combination. It's not just all reserves.
Okay. So with that being said, FTS, can you go over what FTS is, full-time support, and what they do, how they differ from the reserves?
All right. So from the reserve perspective, FTS is basically active duty. They're there every day.
They would be more like reservists on active orders. So they're technically in the reserves, but they're on active duty, just like reserve would go on a deployment. They would be activated at FTS, even though their UIC is reserve. Would you?
Yes. Yeah. So they act like active duty. So when we go in, it's just I feel like they do it based off their duty weekends. So certain people come in, they take their shifts, and then they just take the maintenance meeting for us and kind of supervise, which is a good idea because, sometimes when you're out of the game, even if it's just a week or two, you're not on the, what I'm trying to say. Yeah.
So in your experience, let's say there is young Michelle going into the Navy. Would you tell her to go reserve, or would you tell her to go active?
So I'm definitely biased because I did go active. I would recommend to go active duty because that's 100% your time, your job, the people you're around. When you're a reservist, it's a lot more difficult to balance everything out. Like, I have a normal life. Oh wait, drill weekend, get Navy mode. And then you have to go back to your normal life. And so me just coming from active duty, it's really hard to get into that routine because right when you think everything, okay, all right, I'm on a routine now. Oh, pause, Navy. So if you go straight reserves, I feel like you adapt to it. And so it's a little more normal. Yeah. But it's definitely, it depends what you're looking for and how much time you want to put in.
Okay, so basically, if you're active duty, you're in it. That's your full-time job. The Navy owns you. I mean, any branch, whatever. So we were both in the Navy. That's why I'm comparing this. That's why I'm keeping saying Navy. But any branch, they own you. So if you do reserve, You're going to go to boot camp, go to your A school or MOS school or whatever kind of school you have. And then if you're reserve, you'll go back home and do normal things. And then when it's time to drill, you will go to drill. So you can have potentially a full-time job or full-time school and then a part-time job with whatever branch you're in. As active, you go to boot camp, A school or MOS school, and then bam, you're at your next command or at your first duty station. And that's your job. That's your full-time job. So now that we have that covered, let's talk about college. Everybody wants to know about college. Everybody wants to go to college. First of all, I want to cover that while you're active duty in any branch, you can request tuition assistance, which means you can go to college for free. The military will pay for your college. Now, being a reservist, before this video, we kind of talked about it a little bit, but can you explain what it takes to get the GI Bill? First of all, for those of you who don't know what a GI Bill is, it's after the military. Well, it's a program that the military will pay for your college. They pay for your housing allowance as well as your college costs. Do they pay for books too? Yeah, okay. So they basically cover all your college. Yeah, the post 9/11. And we won't get into the Montgomery because it's less popular. So the post 9/11 pays for your college. So what does it take to get the post 9/11 if you just went into the reserves? If you did not go active duty first, if you just went into the reserves, what does it take to get the post 9?
Okay, so you definitely have to sign a 6-year contract minimum, and then you will be given the benefits. Since I came from active duty and I was already signed up for it, once I do 6 years in the reserve, then I am qualified to receive an additional 12 months of the GI Bill. So in total, it would be 48 months, and I had no idea. So that works out very well instead of 36 months.
Yeah. So that's definitely very beneficial. So I have, and she also had the post 9/11 GI Bill, but right now I only have 36 months if I were to activate and use it. But now, so you've been in so it's automatically open to you right now, right? Since you've been in for 6 years.
No, it has to be 6 years of reserve.
Okay, so 6 years separately of reserve. So you did 5.5 years, you did 6 years in the Navy active. And so in order to get that extra 12 months, you would have to spend another 6 years in the reserve. But right now you have 36 months. Okay, cool. So I hope you guys understand that. Okay, something else we're going to mention is it's called cross assign. I don't really know much about it, but I'm going to let the reservists explain it to you.
All right, so there's another benefit of the reserves. If you do like to travel, but you also want to drill, do your 2 days out of the month by your home of record. I don't know why he said that. So, home of record, where you live. Your home of record. Yeah. So you can do your 2 days out of the month close to home, and then if you're cross assigned, which means you have a billet in another command other than the one you go to for your drill, once a quarter they can fly you out, all paid for, plane, rental car, hotel, and everything, and then you go work with them for a weekend, and then the next drill you just go back to where you live. And so currently I am at Nos, Pensacola, and so once a quarter I get paid to fly out to Point Mugu, California, and I work with them aviation side, and then I go back to Nos, Pensacola for my regular drill.
Pretty cool. So in order for you to drill in different locations, they'll actually buy your transportation, everything up there to go drill. That's pretty cool. So it's basically like a free ticket up to Point Mugu, which is right beside LA, and you just go up there and party all the time.
No.
Just kidding. Okay, so I think we covered everything. I think I had four topics. We covered all 4 topics. So I hope you guys gained some value out of this video. I'm kind of going back to my roots. I'm doing a few Navy videos here and there, and then some of my personal life too. So if you want more videos like this, interviews they're more informational, be sure to leave in the comments. And Michelle, I want to thank you for coming here today.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Anyways, I really appreciate watching, guys, and I will see you in the next video. And because it really helps. Yeah. About that.
What he said.
The first question I want to ask is, how do you feel about that?
You didn't ask anything.
All right, so that should be good.